Hello, everyone. Welcome to our panel today. We're really excited to talk about a new product to market called Channel Science. Before we dive into the details, wanted to introduce both myself and our wonderful panelists here. As we do these introductions, since this is a YouTube solution specifically, would love to hear everyone's favorite YouTube channel. So I'm Sarah Elliott. I run global marketing here at Integral Ad Science, also known as IAS. We really focus on helping give clients back control of their media through delivering quality impressions. So ads that are seen by a real person in a safe and suitable environment, all within the correct geo. And more than that, we offer both protection from those universally harmful places, but also targeting towards those suitable places and spaces that are going to be great for your brand. I'm joined by our VP of Product Management, who focuses on big social platforms like YouTube and Facebook, Mike Kim. Mike, can you share your favorite YouTube channel with us?
Sure. Thanks, Sarah. I'm excited to be here to talk about channel science. And my favorite YouTube channel is Bob Ross. Very relaxing in these times. So
I was going to say, in these times, that's a great one. Nice creativity and relaxing. We also have Lauren Douglas, who is the SVP of Global Marketing at Channel Factory. Lauren, can you just give us a quick intro of both you and Channel Factory, as well as your favorite YouTube channel?
Absolutely. Thanks, Sarah. So my favorite YouTube channel is actually the Vogue 72 Questions, where they ask like 72 rapid fire questions to celebrities. And I highly recommend you watch the Cardi B version because it's very funny. But I run global marketing at Channel Factory, and my role is to help brands really understand and monetize the YouTube ecosystem. So what does that actually mean? It means that we help advertisers align with the appropriate and relevant content while also optimizing for performance by delivering their message in the most relevant place at the right price.
And finally, we have Jenny Chow from Channel Factory, who is the SVP of Strategy and Client Operations. Jenny, can you give us a quick intro and let us know your favorite YouTube channel?
Hi, I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Sarah. I oversee planning to execution, and our job is to really help our clients understand the YouTube ecosystem well and also how to maximize their dollars within this space. And my son's favorite YouTube channel is Pink Fong. And therefore, it is my favorite channel, and they are the masterminds behind Baby Shark. And they're fantastic and teaching them lots of lessons, everything from flu to washing his hands.
Love it. I love the variety of YouTube channels. My favorite YouTube channel is actually MadFit, so it's the fitness channel, but I feel like all of our respective channels hit on all these different things that are especially interesting in the times that we're living in. But thanks for introducing yourselves. As you can see, we have a great panel of both product and marketing folks and client service people to talk to you today. So before we kind of double click and get into some of those deeper details around what Channel Science offers, Mike and Jenny would love you to just give us a quick background on how this partnership came to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we saw each other at the bar, and I'm kidding. IAS as well as Channel Factory, we're both YTMP partners. IAS for safety and Channel Factory for suitability and contextual performance. So given the evolution of the YouTube ecosystem, we thought it'd be a good idea to partner up and provide one solution to our clients, right, to make things more seamless for them.
Yeah, I think that we just saw there's a lot of complementarity to our solutions, to our capabilities. Given that IS had the brand safety badge and our background of verification and brand safety, and then, as Jenny said, Channel Factory's specialty and suitability and optimized performance, there was just a natural fit. And I think we also saw a need for customers, advertisers out there to deal with fewer, stronger partners and solutions. So, came together and have a single unified offering, Channel Science.
Yeah, we've liked to refer to it as the shampoo and conditioner, right, in one. It's like the old Head and Shoulders commercial. We got 2 for 1. So yeah, Thanks for that background. And Lauren, would love to hear a little more from you. As someone who leads a marketing team, can you tell us a little bit more about what channel science does specifically for marketers?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, I think for marketers today, the advertising ecosystem is incredibly complex and tangled. And I think that advertisers are looking to partner with fewer, stronger, better partners. And I think that that is one thing that channel science does, right? So it's more efficient, it saves time, and it drives real outcomes. I think that from what I've heard in the market, advertisers are very thrilled to have something like this because it they see it as a maturation and a consolidation of the ecosystem, giving them access to fewer, better partners. I also think that we'll get into a little bit of the efficiency side, but I think that not only does this drive efficiency, but it consolidates tech fees so that brands can directly put that money right back into their media buys.
Thanks, Lauren. Very, very helpful. And it makes me think, we need to explain the methodology a little bit more. So back to you, Mike. Can you tell us a little bit more on how both IAS and Channel Factory contribute to the channel science inclusion list? And I think we
Sure.
might have some slides prepared as well to help get this across.
Yeah, I think a visual always helps explain certain topics. 1 second. Here we go. So, given our brand safety badge and our background in verification, we see a lot of videos, and we analyze a lot of videos, quantify a lot, millions upon millions, uh, videos, channels within YouTube, and we score them around our brand safety taxonomy, right? Around adult violence, offensive language, hate speech, and drugs. We flag videos that are risky, right? And we roll that up. We roll that up and we assess channels as well. And so we determine channels that, based on all the profiles of videos that we've seen and impressions, which ones are risky. And we refresh this, we run this process, I say algorithm, but this process weekly, and we provide this list of channels over to Channel Factory to help them curate, to help them, make sure that they are targeting the safest channels. In the next slide, I'll hand off to Jenny.
Yeah, and from there, in the YouTube ecosystem, Google, they've done a really great job at classifying things in their own terms, and we've been very comfortable in utilizing it. But a lot of our clients resort to IAB categories, right, as the standard. So we've kind of taken all the information that we get from, analyzing a video. We have direct access to the API to do so, IAS included, where we are reviewing the content from a channel to a video basis, and we are reviewing anything from, the standard title, description, etc. But we also get into the audio transcription as well as the metadata and reviewing the tags and then reclassifying them into appropriate IAB categories. And then from that, we mark them as whether it is children's category or auto category and whatever that may be, and depending on what the client is looking for from a suitability and contextual alignment, we further filter down and build the inclusion list based on what those parameters are. We filter by 39 plus languages, and we, from our 8 years of our media buying in the YouTube auction space, we overlay our performance data and reviewing what the client's KPIs are looking for, and we add that as an additional layer on top of the inclusion list, and we further human vet it to ensure that it's correctly categorized. Obviously, AI can easily misinterpret things, right? Like sarcasm, which, a human is better able to detect than a machine. So we take all these things into consideration, right? Starting with the IES from the safety standpoint, jumping into suitability, whether something is appropriate or not appropriate for a brand, and then getting into like the actual contextual alignment that a brand would want, and then building the list that becomes actionable and will reach the KPIs, certain view rates, click-through rate, whatever it may be that the client is trying to achieve.
Right, and so you mentioned, IES is obviously providing that safety piece that Mike walked through, and then Channel Factory is providing that suitability and contextual targeting piece that you just mentioned, Jenny. But what's the real advantage then of using something like Channel Science, where you're bringing both of these two solutions under one roof versus the standalone products? And
Absolutely.
maybe
I
if you
mean, it
have an
goes.
example to share, that'd be great.
Yeah, I love to share a slide to kind of to paint a more realistic picture of how this happened. And it goes back to what you mentioned earlier, Sarah, about the, shampoo and conditioner example, right? I mean, for most part, people wouldn't want to wash their hair without one or the other, right? They kind of work together to make your hair, smooth and beautiful. So, for example, working with the both of us, gives our client like one streamlined partner, one contact to work with that provides both solutions of safety, suitability, contextual alignment, as well as performance. Actually, that's four things, right? And for example, we have an auto client right here, and what they care about, as most people do for safety, is like not being around adult violence, offensive language, hate speech, illegal drugs, etc. Right? Your standard safety measures per IAB. And then on top of that, this auto client is also saying, for the consumers that I'm looking to reach, children's content and literature does not hit who my audience set is. I don't want to be around that content. Right, so Channel Factory with the suitability metric adds that layer on top and removes that. So from this, the client will get a brand safe and suitable list. Now we go into, if you can go into the next slide, a more refined like contextual alignment. Okay, now who is actually your audience and what do you want to go after, right? So this auto manufacturer wants to go after, a luxury adventure, male, tech forward, weekend driver. So we're looking at all these different signals, the outcome of the inclusion list that we're building hits somebody like a Marquez Brownlee, right? Or a Wire, or a GQ, or Rick Steves, right? These specific channels fit the makeup of what our client is looking for. And going into the next slide, as we're actually launched the campaign, and in the campaign, Channel Science will offer that account management piece that you'll get whether it is managed service or self-service, right? If the client wants to be hands-on keyboard, right? Making the decisions, buying, that's great. And we will help support you through that process. We'll review campaign results on a weekly basis. We'll also optimize the list, and we'll offer suggestions on how to improve the campaign to get to the KPIs that the clients have set forth in the first place. And we know in this marketplace, as well as, the current climate of things, things change all the time, right? Safety and suitability, right? One creator today that has been previously deemed safe may say something inappropriate the next day, right? And that's why these weekly enhancements and review is important to ensure that our brands are next to content that they're comfortable with in real time on a weekly basis, right? We all understand the Oprah effect, and we don't want to taint our advertiser in any way because consumers are really quick to call that out.
And Mike, can you tell us a little bit more about the reporting and insights part of wrapping up this auto example?
Sure. So, given our background in verification, we provide a pretty comprehensive and thorough report, provide transparency in what you're being delivered against within YouTube. On the right, you see various key insights, data points, namely on campaign and video, and the various risk levels that you're being delivered against. And we feel that's important to inform, that you're getting what you want, and then, looking at your risk level as well. And that informs, the list of channels that we provide to Channel Factory, back to optimize further. So we really see it as a virtuous cycle, tying together post-campaign, verification, to pre-campaign targeting, and all the mid-flight, during flight optimizations that happen during the life cycle of a YouTube campaign.
Yeah, so it's again like the great advantage, just to kind of recap all of that of this solution is, you have these two great companies that are doing all this amazing stuff in the background, so that clients don't have to worry about it. And so it really is that 2-for-1 solution that's providing those 4 key benefits of brand safety and suitability on YouTube, contextual targeting on YouTube, optimization and performance, and then rounding it out with what you just explained, Mike, the insights and reporting. So I wanted to give a chance to our audience to ask some questions. So we have some live questions coming in, so I'm just going to pop over there and see what we have. So the first one is, how easy is this to execute from a workflow perspective, and how long does it take a client to get up and running? I don't know who wants to answer that one, but yeah, Jen.
Yeah, it's fairly straightforward. Given that both of our techs are constantly scanning and categorizing this data every second, we can turn a campaign around or generate a list within 24 hours if it, adheres to the standard IB categories. Now, if the client is looking for something a little more nuanced, like let's say, I only want to be around anime content, then, it'll take a little bit of time to add in certain filters as well as the human element to ensure that it is the correct content. So that may take a little longer, up to a week or two. But that aside, starting a campaign is fairly quick. So if we can produce a list within 24 hours with all the signals reviewed and built to the list that we need or the client needs, then we can set up the campaign within the next 24 hours thereafter.
Yeah, so pretty quick. And then another question we have here. So I don't see an issue with brand safety on YouTube. So what is the need for this partnership? Hopefully we already answered that one, but
I can take this one.
I'll go ahead.
Sure. I think that it's brand safety, it's brand suitability, and it's contextual targeting. And I think that YouTube does a great job in terms of pulling off content that is, inappropriate and unsafe. But there is, some content that is uploaded to YouTube. I mean, during the course of this conversation, there's been probably 1,000 hours of content uploaded to YouTube. So it's a very difficult platform from a growth perspective, because it's always evolving. From a brand suitability perspective, going back to the auto example that we discussed, the auto manufacturer may not want to target certain content, right? Alcohol or kids content. There just may be content that is appropriate for one, but isn't appropriate for a different advertiser. And so it's really important to have a specific brand suitability strategy. And then I think thirdly, performance and efficiency. So targeting the right customer, going back again to our auto example, on the channels where they're going to be watching that content, surrounding content that makes sense for the brand, I think is going to pack a more powerful punch. We actually see a 93% lift in brand awareness when content aligns to the ads the ads and the content align together. And so I think it's really important to consider all 3 factors in this product.
And I'll add to that. I would say over the past couple of years, a lot of clients have really looked at, their video advertising to drive results, right? And not only from an awareness and brand lift standpoint, from an actual ROI result standpoint, right? So given that, we have this past 8 years of buying and performance data and experience, we have, AI to help kind of predict performance as well, to help our clients as well as together in channel science give immediate results right away to achieve those goals. And with the ever-changing marketplace, right? What was true last week may not be what's true next week. And that's why the predictive component of looking at the marketplace is going to be really important to help achieve those results.
Great. And then I think we have time for one more question here. So can you clearly articulate why bringing verified channels to the front of the process is of value? And why should they consider this, and how can we quantify this?
Sure. So we think the value is, one, reducing risk even further, right? Is one channel or one video, a few impressions, however many. The further you can reduce your risk to unsafe content, there's value there. And people want greater control over that. And I think that's what we really identify as one part of it. And secondly, I think this was touched upon too, but with that, optimizing further and optimizing to your performance goals and ROI, we think that's key. So bring all that to the front and having that be under one quote unquote roof, adds efficiency to this overall process, allows you to focus on other, I think, campaign goals while maintaining or reducing, the level of risk, whether it's safety or suitability that you're exposed to. So, overall, it just really makes a lot of sense in our eyes, in our view, to unify all that and to bring a lot of this stuff up front into one, sort of seamless, like I said, house, roof, or what have you.
Yeah, I like the risk reduction. It only takes one, as we all know, right? It only takes one impression, one time, something bad to slip through, and it can undo a lot of other things. So yes, that was great. Well, wanted to thank you all for your time today, talking through channel science. Hopefully our audience got some great insight on the partnership and the product and how you can activate. If you want to learn more, we're going to share a bit.ly link and a QR code, so you can click on that or capture that to go find out more information. And then just as a close, thought it might be interesting for us to, looking ahead, I think all of us are looking forward to 2021 for many reasons. But if we just think about how this space is evolving, it's ever changing, especially with what's happening right now, and more people watching YouTube probably than ever before. What are your thoughts on the evolution of this space and what's happening in 2021?
Yeah, totally. Great question. As consumers grow more aware of the joys and the pains of creator-led content, I think that brands recognize that consumers not only care, but will reward and punish the advertisers based on where their ads show up. So we saw in a survey by TAG last year that 82% of people will actually stop spending with a brand if they think that the brand is appearing next to the wrong content. So, as I mentioned before, YouTube is an ever-growing platform. It's always changing. And I think that a coordinated effort between partners like YouTube and the other YCMP partners like Channel Factory and IAS will help create a more conscious video ecosystem.
Love that. Mike.
Yeah, and
oh, never mind.
Jenny, sorry, I'm just so excited.
Jump in there.
Well, as Sarah said, 2020 has been quite a year, right? Mm-hmm. And I think we're all looking for 2021. And I think, what we have noticed is, people's viewing habits have changed a lot, right? We know this year, we already, or not even this year, but even before that, people were talking about cord cutting and not really being on television as much. But given the pandemic and what's going on with 2020, right? TV and studio productions, they are, either slowly coming back or not at all. So a lot of consumers are turning on to YouTube instead to view content. So there's going to be a lot more content on YouTube, right? A lot more creators, but that also means a lot more eyeballs for brands. So there's going to be a greater need than ever to have safety, suitability, and performance, and contextual alignment specifically, aid with that, so that brands, like Lauren said, feel comfortable being in this, user-generated space.
Great. And Mike, any thoughts to add to that? More Bob Ross?
I think I
Happy
disagree with it.
accidents.
Yeah, happy accidents, more trees. Uh, I just want to just double down, agree 100% with everything that they've said. Just sheer amount of content, creator-led content, navigating that space, and the sheer amount of people now coming on board, even more so to watch on YouTube. It's challenging, and there's just going to be more heightened awareness, more eyeballs, and everything else, which whether it's accentuates, whatever it is, the need for solutions, the YTMP and solutions like ours, I think is key.
Yep. Keep coming back to your answer on risk reduction. I'm all about it. We can all use a little risk reduction in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
As
For
as
sure.
well as a mood boost too,
Yes, a
right?
mood boost.
And a mood boost. And we actually did a study during the earlier time this year around COVID and what people were coming to YouTube for, and 80% were coming to the YouTube platform to improve their moods. And I still do it. And it sounds like my kin does with Bod Bob. So, yeah, absolutely. So 2021, will be a great year for, YouTube as well as digital advertising. But, we want to help our brands to ensure that when they do come into this space, they feel safe and protected and aligned with what their goals are, right? From suitability to performance.
Couldn't have said it better.
I love it. Well, thank you all again. Appreciate the time. And again, if you want to learn more, we're going to flash up the bit.ly link and a QR code to take you to all the information you might need about this great partnership, Channel Science. So thank you all again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.